Hi, I'm Jennifer Joy from Spark Your Being, and I know that many of you have found my YouTube channel through the Dressing Your Truth search engines, the community that Carol Tuttle has put together. And I've had a few people ask me about my Dressing Your Truth journey, and I did write it out in some comments, but I thought I'd go ahead and do a video on it as well. So I am a life purpose palm reader and a certified fearless living coach, and I have been a certified fearless living coach since 2007. And in my coaching program with the Fearless Living Institute, it's kind of like a doctor with a residency where you take on study clients and you coach them through the Fearless Living coaching material. And as you do that, your mentor, who acts like the head doctor, right, who's in charge of the residents, your mentor listens in on your calls and your recordings, and then she advises me on what to do differently or what I've done well. So my very first study client that made it through the entire program, I had someone before her who made it just through a few sessions, and then she was my first one who made it through the entire program. So my first full-fledged study client introduced me to the work of Carol Tuttle, and she advised me to read Carol's book Remembering Wholeness. And I wonder what the date is on this. Let's see. What is the copyright? Page. Good grief. 2002. So I guess it had been out a while, because this was probably, I don't know, 2008, 2009 when she was introduced to me, because I worked with this client actually a long time, and she eventually did refer this book to me. And I read the book and it blew me away. I'm actually getting a little bit emotional thinking about it. My work that I did as a life coach and in my life coach training changed my life dramatically. Rhonda Britton is the founder of that work. And I was doing much better in my life. I just felt much better about my life. I loved my life more. And then when I read Carol Tuttle's Remembering Wholeness, it was like it was like a 1-2 punch. It was like Fearless Living, Carol Tuttle, to really knock out the perfectionism, the judgment, the pushing myself. I realized from this book that I'm okay just the way I am, that I am whole, that I don't need to keep trying to improve and heal. And it's funny coming from a life coach where we do work on personal development, but I don't even like to think of it as personal development anymore, or even really personal growth. It's really more easing into your wholeness, remembering your wholeness for me. That's what I do with my clients, is I help them really remember who they are and stop the judgment and really align with their design. Now, Carol Tuttle does it in a whole different way. So that introduced me to Carol Tuttle. I got to still get onto the Dressing Your Truth journey. And then I've got to think for a moment. 2007? No, it wasn't 2007. 2009. It was 2009. My family spent the summer in France. And I knew from being in Carol's community that her new program, It's Just My Nature and Dressing Your Truth, was coming out. So I was kind of waiting for that. I was on her mailing list to get the information. And we spent the summer in France. And my husband, my dear husband, he arranged for me to have a personal shopper do some shopping with me in Paris. And it was great. And we got a bunch of new clothes. So I was stretching my boundaries with what I could wear. And then I got home. And it was August, right? It was August when Dressing Your Truth was launched. And sure enough, Dressing Your Truth was launched, and I bought the program right away and found out that a lot of what I bought in Paris did not work for my type. No, but a lot of it did. One of the things, I am a type 2 with a secondary 1. And one of the things that I found in Paris was that I was wearing softer fabrications and more flow, and that they did actually look pretty good on me. And it's something that I hadn't done in the past. Now, I did get a few black items that eventually went by the wayside. Not right away, though. I couldn't part with my Paris clothing right away. I wore it anyway. But eventually it fell by the wayside. And I do still have a few pieces that I wear from that trip that did work with my type. So came home from Paris, found out I was a type 2 secondary 1. And the way I found this out was by, at that time, Carol's team offered a profiling service where you sent them, the payment. I think it was, I don't know, $30 or maybe it was more than that. And you could have yourself profiled or your family members profiled. So I did me, I did my daughter, my husband, and my best friend at the time. So got us all profiled and found out that I was a 2-1, and both my husband and my daughter are a type 4 with a secondary 1. So we all share the 1, which I think helps lighten things up a little bit because we have a pretty still household, let me tell you what. But yeah, let us lighten things up a little bit. So we were profiled, and I think it might have even been Anne, because later on when she was on video, I was like, I think that's the same voice who profiled us, but not sure. And then it was a few years later that I actually went to Utah and met up with my study client and another coaching friend and my study client's family members, and we all did a Dressing Your Truth sort of mini makeover. We went to the hair salon. They dressed us in an outfit, and we stayed for that club night that night. So that was a fun trip as well. So finding out I was a type 2 made so much sense. And it made a lot of sense because in my life coach training, I had found out that one of the things that I resist most is, or one of my core fears, is weakness. I do not like to show any vulnerability. I do not like to show any weakness. When I'm in fear, this is when I am in that judgment mode. I really move into that place of I need to be strong. And I was raised that way. My mother was a single parent for most of my life, and she was also raised at the time of feminism and was really teaching me that to be a successful woman, you kind of have to be a man. You have to have that drive, that push. And she even named me Jennifer Joy so that I could be called JJ, so that people wouldn't know on paper whether I was a male or a female. So I was really, really encouraged to push forward and to hide the weakness and hide the feelings. And she never shamed me directly. She never was like, oh, you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't be vulnerable. But I was taught from a very young age that to be successful, you need to be more of that type 3, or, well, probably more type 3. I believe she's a type 3. More of that type 3 push energy. And I did that. And I really do think that actually contributed to a lot of my health issues. I have adrenal issues and found out I had celiac, but the adrenal issues is from constantly overdrive, I think, and not accepting my nature. And so I'd already learned through life coaching that I was triggered by this idea of no one can see me as being weak. So I'd already worked with it quite a bit. So by the time It's Just My Nature came along and Carol Tuttle, it just made sense. It was like, oh, yeah, I'm a type 2. And I did resist this a lot of my life. And I was taught to try to be different. And even though my mom didn't directly shame me, I had some shame around being a type 2, soft and subtle and sensitive woman. And so that was, like I said, Carol Tuttle helped me embrace my wholeness and embrace my nature on a deeper level than I even got to through life coaching. So I've pretty much been dressing my truth for, well, since 2000, what did I say? 2008 was when it came out? I don't remember. I've been dressing, 2009, I think. And I've been mostly dressing my truth. Some of you might be looking at what I'm seeing or what I'm wearing. This is a blue. It's not black. It reads a little bit as black. And yes, those are white swans. So technically this shirt's probably a nothing because it has the pop of white that's a little more of a type 1. However, I love it. I just love this shirt. I do like to have connection. There's some peachy pinks and the butterflies that bring into this. I really, that was the neat part about the program too, is that I really learned why I did like the things I liked, and how when something wasn't working, why, and could I make it work. So a lot of time that was the connection. I really like connection, and if I didn't have that, it wasn't quite right. But as a secondary one, I really love animated prints, and I love if they're a little bit quirky. Can't always get a quirky print, but I think even my swans are a little bit quirky. So I love this shirt, and I think it's probably about a type 2 blue, but who knows? Blues are a little hard to tell with me sometimes. And then this is actually a Dressing Your Truth sweater. And funny story, I bought the sweater, this very same one, from ModCloth first. I picked it out, and then it came to the Dressing Your Truth store. So my ModCloth sweater was wearing out, so I bought this one, and lo and behold, they were the same exact sweater. Actually, not this one. I bought a second one, and that one wore out, and this is my third. I love this peach sweater. So I am wearing that with my swans. And I love cardigans because they're soft. I do not like jackets. They bother me. Again, my husband, who's type 4, loves me in tailored clothing and would buy me tailored clothing, and I couldn't understand why it didn't work. And it's been such a wonderful thing to ease into myself and also ease into clothing that makes me feel good and makes me feel comfortable. So that's my Dressing Your Truth journey, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. You can comment below and let me know a little bit about your journey too. But yeah, I'm a type 2 secondary 1, and I like it. I like it. I've been living that way for quite a while, and just still enjoying Carol Tuttle's work. And I will include a link to her program and her website as well, in case you're stumbling upon this video and you know nothing about her. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. And let me know if you have any other requests. I'd love to hear them. I run out of ideas of what to do, so I'd love to support you in any way, whether it's with Dressing Your Truth stuff or personal stuff. Just let me know. So thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.